legend is just exceptionally full of excellence.
This is Ferrari Supercars, a partnership with the Enzo Ferrari Museum of Modena.
Fire interpreter, energy reader, look how we're working now. Loaded, locked and ready.
What is next in line?
See how we keep it. 1, 2 sip on the bevy. Ready, loaded, locked and ready. See how we keep it steady. See how we keep it heavy. 1, 2 sip on the bevy. Ready, yeah, bubble and bounce. Studio inside the house, on maximum vibes, you know we get down. Yeah, down on the tune, yo, bubble and bounce. Always prepped and ready, deep with a baseline ready. I am the one like Heady, J to the A and the S-E-T, no Freddy. Born ready, loaded, locked and ready. See how we keep it steady. See how we keep it heavy. 1, 2 sip on the bevy. Ready, loaded, locked and ready. See how we keep it steady. See how we keep it heavy. 1, 2 sip on the bevy. Born ready, born ready. Born ready. This stuff can get messy. 1, 2 lyric on the mic gets zesty. We got shares and stocks investing. Do my own thing, yeah, it's the best thing. Sniper with the bars, yeah, like Wesley. Tearing through it all, yeah, like a jet ski. Wanna judge, but they haven't met me. They want an image thing, yes, I get it. Loaded, locked and ready. See how we keep it steady. See how we keep it heavy. 1, 2 sip on the bevy. Ready, loaded, locked and ready. See how we keep it steady. See how we keep it heavy. 1, 2 sip on the bevy. Born ready.
There's a particular kind of Ferrari we're going to speak a lot about today. The Ferrari supercars. The car you're about to drive in this opening event is none other than the first Ferrari in the supercar bloodline, the Ferrari GTO.
The first supercars that we can define is the GTO. GTO was very simple. If we just start from the name, it was Gran Turismo Omologato. The definition of supercars is very simple. It's the top expression of that period in design, performance, technology, putting all the best in one single car of that period. People call it the 288 GTO, but that is not the correct definition. The definition for that car is the GTO. Punto.
To Ferrari, supercar is a term that refers to milestones in motoring history. All supercars are limited series and the product of Enzo Ferrari's philosophy, aiming to make every new model the best car of its time. That means that every new addition to the lineage is the embodiment of leading-edge research that sets the standard for cars worldwide. Drive all the Ferrari supercars on this adventure. But for now, just enjoy the collector's piece that is the Gran Turismo Omologato. Or, like Mr. Pignati Morano said, simply GTO. This car is, in essence, a special version of another iconic Ferrari, the 308 GTS. And, as intended, it is one of the fastest street-legal production cars of its time. Interesting fact from my archives. Three-time racing world champion Niki Lauda owned one of the few GTOs produced. A gift from Enzo Ferrari himself. takes me back to the legacy tour Ferrari organized back in 2024. A GTO tribute tour set in the stunning surroundings of the Italian Dolomites. Organized exactly 40 years after Ferrari introduced the supercar at the 1984 Geneva Motor Show. But enough from me. Just listen to the car you're driving. She'll tell you her story herself. Ferrari, my young friend. A world where legends live among us to tell their stories loud and clear. I was delighted with that introduction. You may now head towards the northern part of the bay to make the acquaintance of the next two supercars in our Ferrari lineup. You heard me right. The next event will feature not one, but two cars for you to drive. On one hand, the inspired and inspiring Ferrari F40. And on the other hand, nothing less than a road-legal Formula One, the Ferrari F50. The Ferrari F50, a bridge between road and racetrack.
The F50 is a car that is made to celebrate the 50 years of the company. It's a car which is basically very much taking the technology of Formula One to the road. It's basically a Formula One with covered wheels. You look at the shape, you look at the front, you can really see the shape of the musetto of a Formula One, and the emotion of driving it is just incredible.
Let me tell you more about the Ferrari F50. Often thought of together, the F40 and F50 are yet very different cars, each one fascinating in its own individual way. It's true they bear some similar design elements and, of course, a naming convention. F for Ferrari and 50 for the prancing horse's 50th birthday, just like the F40 a decade earlier. But the similarities stop right there. because these two siblings are defiantly individual. The F-50 is a mechanical symphonia. No turbocharged V8 here. The F-50's core is a normally aspirated V12 that came straight from a Formula One. Then there's the bodywork. Composite materials, like the monocoque carbon fiber chassis shaped to aerodynamic perfection. Again, all coming from the racing world. An extreme machine. Bold, innovative, intimidating. And that sound. It was impressive back then, and it still is today. And the car's voice sounds even better from inside. I could ramble on about this car forever, but I'll let it speak for itself now. This was the F-50, a sports car that screams performance and racing spirit with every fiber of its being. I believe that you're now expected at the Hanauma racetrack. But first, let's get there with panache. Another special car is waiting for you.
When you ask people which is one of the most iconic cars that people remember, I think the Testarossa is definitely among these cars here. The technology that is inside, easily distinguishable from the side which has the fins. It is one of those cars that everybody remembers. Testarossa is very simple. Translated from Italian is testa, head, rossa, red, so the red head.
The Ferrari Testarossa was quite the celebrity in her time. Movies, TV shows, magazines, and even video games, the Testarossa was everywhere, appealing to kids and adults alike. With its angular design, minimalistic lines, and signature side air intakes, this car was a poster child for aerodynamics. To be precise, the exact model Motorfest has put in your hands is the 1991 re-engineered version of the Testarossa, introduced as the 512 TR, featuring a redesigned interior and a refined exterior to improve its already spectacular lines. It looks like you're getting the perfect stretches of road between Maui and Oahu to take the whole measure of it. Quite a breath of fresh air and nostalgia. you're here. It's time for you to get a real taste of Ferrari's racing DNA, the drive that gave birth to the supercar bloodline. And for this racing-themed experience, I went again through my archives to select not just one, but two vehicles for you to drive, one after the other. Two machines from two different eras, for two different racing experiences.
Scuderia Ferrari in our history is extremely important. Scuderia Ferrari was created in 1929, not far away from here. Enzo Ferrari himself was a driver. He started as a driver. So he created, and to stimulate the drivers, he was giving them and putting them in the best condition with the best car possible. Scuderia Ferrari was so successful. Enzo Ferrari has conquered the world from Maranello. This is an achievement which is unique and really makes the brand unique.
Scuderia is what started it all. To understand what fuels the creation of every Ferrari ever made, especially the supercars, the racetrack is an indispensable stop. Racing cars were Enzo Ferrari's passion and obsession. This is what led him to found the Scuderia in 1929, which has played a major role in racing history. And born from this racing division, Ferrari as a brand and factory of excellence was created a few years later. Racing is what led Ferrari to create cars, and eventually supercars. Without his racing spirit and passion, there would be no Ferraris as we know them. The Ferrari 365 GTB4 is the perfect vehicle for you to experience Ferrari racing as it felt back in the 70s, before switching for a car about 45 years its junior. There, for this second lap, you'll be driving the FXXK. This car is quite peculiar. Essentially a laboratory-enhanced version of La Ferrari, a supercar you'll get to meet later on. It didn't compete, per se, but this insanely powerful car was used for years as an R&D test car, allowing Ferrari to collect precious data to ultimately improve their next official racing cars, as well as the supercars. A Ferrari so extreme that it can never be driven on the road, nor qualify for any kind of official competition. But it's still a racing machine through and through. More than a car, the FXXK is an experiment for its makers and an experience for its drivers. Was a peek at Ferrari's glorious racetrack heritage. A heritage in which supercars are inextricably tied up. Marvelous race driver. A moment I'll be thrilled to relate and store in my archives. Now, let's get our focus back to our supercar lineup. With the GTO,